Hello, my darlings. Welcome to another video. Today I've actually asked my guides what to read on, and what we did is bottom of the deck information to know what I should draw the reading on. The card on the bottom of the deck was the Eight of Cups. In this particular deck, it's very obvious that this person is walking away from something. It's something they've kind of trashed and set on fire to walk away from, which, there's something to be said for that. I like a good burning ceremony, especially at New Year's, and we're coming up to that right now. I love doing a big, the first burning ceremony I ever went to was a big bonfire on a farm on New Year's Eve, and I've never forgotten that. You write down everything that you don't want to take with you into the new year, and you set it on fire safely. Be careful, but it's cathartic, and there's something very nice to be said for that. I still do that on New Year's Eve, often on New Year's Eve. And 2022 is a big year, so this would be a good year to do that. She's walking away from this thing that she has, effectively set on fire, and is moving into the sun, moving into a new day, a new path, a new beautiful thing. And that's what, I hope for all of you for the coming year. I really feel like part of the reason my guides have me here on YouTube right now, particularly over the next few months, is to help strengthen the collective, focus the collective, and balance the energy, particularly the tarot energy that's here on YouTube. So my message to you all is, let's focus on this new day coming with this new year, particularly in the spring. I think that we have a lot of work to do on ourselves over the winter time, so that we can move into that. And I'm going to be very focused on that and giving you all the insight and channeled messages and whatnot that I can to help you all go into spring as strong as you've ever been. So to get a better view on what the reading I'm actually doing is, we're going to go down a few cards on this. So what I feel is fueling this, what she needs to be walking away from, what she needs to be setting on fire. The Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is sneaky thief energy. We talked about this a little bit on some of the videos yesterday too. It can also be self-delusion and denial. Now, particularly if you're talking about twin flames and soulmates, those are complicated relationships. And I would really suggest that while you're doing your healing work, if you didn't see the videos yesterday, you should watch those. But while you're doing your healing work over the winter, the guides are really pressing. Look at all the places that we're in denial, self-deluding ourselves, those kind of things. We need to get rid of all of that stuff. That's what needs to go. One of the things anyway that needs to go here into this little fire bowl is all of our self-delusion, all of our denial. We need to open our eyes, even if it's bad, even if what we need to look at is bad. That's the moon. So it's sneaky, it's secretive, but knowing is better. Knowing is better, because once you know what it is, once you've got all that in your little bowl here on fire, you can walk away from it into a much healthier place. The Knight of Wands underneath that. How you need to do this is quickly. This is a brave, sometimes reckless action. That's the only thing I tend to advise against, is being reckless in your life. But being brave, being bold, rip the Band-Aid off. In your soul what it is that you're not seeing. Rip the Band-Aid off so that you can see it. Now we got a Page of Pentacles. This is, curiosity. It's youthful energy. It's new beginnings. If you rip the Band-Aid off, you've got the new beginning, which is what we're going for here, to walk into this. And 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to go probably just one card down farther. Yeah, the Eight of Swords. You're in your head. The Eight of Swords is a good bad card. You're in your head. None of this is real. All the stuff that you think is keeping you stuck, it's not real. particularly if we're going to talk relationships, if we're going to talk, true love, the relationship that you're in right now, even if it's the one you're meant to be in, you need to walk away from it for a time. You need to set it down. You need to clear. Even if you're in a separation, put down the thoughts. Clear the thoughts. Clear your mind. Get rid of all of this. Put all of those thoughts, fears, wants, desires, pains, heartache, put them all in your little bowl here with all your self-delusion and denial, and set it on fire. That is the last card I was supposed to go down to. But underneath that, if you can do all of this, if we can do all this work over the next few months, then, this is the Ace of Pentacles. It's a slow moving energy, but it's a new beginning. And this one has pretty deep roots on it because you did the work. I'm going to peek under that one. Ah! And then you get Destiny. Oh, I love tarot. I know my guides were like, focus on the top 5 cards, but the top 5 cards is the what. This now becomes the why. Oh my God. And then the 10 of Pentacles. It's everything. It's happiness. It's fulfillment. It's your new beginning is destiny of your happily ever after. Okay, so what I really want to do is I want to focus on these cards right here. This is what we're going to do the reading on. I'm actually going to put everything back into the deck and shuffle again, but we know that what we're doing the reading on here is what needs to go in your bowl here, because I feel like what you're walking towards. You're walking towards your happily ever after. What needs to go in this bowl here and get set on fire? What are the ways that we're dealing with self-denial and stressful thinking and, all the thoughts that are keeping you stuck? Let's look at that and see what kind of answers we can get on that. I'm going to do a 4-card progression because the guides and I tend to work well with that particular layout. It's probably not even a layout. I think it's something just my guides and I came up. I don't know. There's so many layouts. Who can say? I hope you guys are having a beautiful, blessed day whenever you see this, or had one if you're watching it in the evening. That's when I tend to watch tarot, is in the evening after I go to bed at night. I watch it for a little bit just to kind of see energies and what's going on out there in the world of tarot. Oh, this little card wanted to be left behind in case we had forgotten. All right, I'm going to go ahead and lay these cards down. Just a reminder, these are general readings. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Because as a tarot reader, even though I read energy and through the cards, it's filtered through my experiences. I can't filter it through things I don't already know, don't have places in my brain for. So, just be mindful of that when you're watching tarot, any tarot, mine, anybody else's. Take this stuff past your own guides. Listen to your own intuition. This should give you an illumination, not all your answers. That's the work that you have to do for yourself. All right. Oh, we came back with our Ace of Pentacles. Okay, that's a good start. Okay. I split the deck for just like a second, just kind of not even for any particular purpose. I'm just thinking, and I tend to play with the deck while I do that. We're back to our 8 of Cups in the middle of the deck. Actually, on the bottom of the deck for this reading now actually ended up being the 4 of Wands. That's the 1111 card. That's marriage, commitment, family, stability. That's our, the basis for your happily ever after. All right, let me put that one down here. We're going to clarify with my little white sage deck because I adore this deck. All right, so what I'm seeing so far is your new beginning. The energy of the 10 of Cups is usually, it's complete fulfillment. It's happily ever after. It's the 10 of Pentacles, I feel, is grounded a little bit more in reality. The 10 of Cups can be a little bit more in fantasy. And that's kind of the warning I'm getting off of this cup. We need to, that denial, that self-delusion, all of that we were talking about before a minute ago. I feel like it's around this card here. We need to, these relationships are supernatural. Our experiences are supernatural. I'm not saying that you need to be realistic about your life or your, in the traditional sense. But I am saying that you need to watch fantasy life, weaving the fantasy life, this rainbow here. I see this as like a tale being woven. Be careful of that. We've got the Knight of Pentacles, or the Knight of Wands back, which again, the recklessness is, the energy of recklessness is speaking a little bit louder as she's playing with fire. I have this moment of like, let's not burn down the house and be left out in the cold. So let's clarify these, because what we're looking for is the answers, what you need to put in that bowl of fire for New Year's Eve. Ten of Cups came back again. With the Queen of Swords. And then we got the Emperor. Spread these out a little bit more. I never judge the spacing all that well. And the Nine of Cups. We've got the King of Wands on the Knight of Wands. And there's a Page of Cups. Okay, there's a lot of royalty here. There's no major arcana here. So let's see what comes up on this last one. Nope. We can go right back to our Eight of Cups. Okay, we have no... Well, no, we do. The Emperor's here. But that's kind of a... This particular Emperor, the energy of it is reading minor arcana. And I'll come back around to that in a minute. So there's no heavy major arcana here. He is a major arcana, but the energy off of him, he's reading minor arcana. He's not completely evolved, which is fine, because what this is effectively saying is the work that you need to do, the stuff that you need to put in that little bowl and set on fire, it's work you need to do. It's not God stuff. You're not waiting on destiny. You're not waiting on divine timing. You're not waiting on God to do anything, because there's no major arcana present here. This is all on you. But these are all, except for that card there, these are all high level. I mean, they're all, granted, okay, the Ace is the beginning. You've got the Ace at the beginning and your Eight of Cups here at the end, but these are royalty cards. So you've got the Page, you've got the 9, the 10, Page, Queen. This tells me that you're not a beginner at this stuff. You know what you're doing. You've been walking this path a long time, and you're getting to a point, and I think this is what my channel is here for. It's for all the people that are getting ready to evolve into the next stage, into the next level. This is, we're all in a particular ascension process over the winter together, and I feel like that's what we're coming together for. With this, okay, this is your new beginning. The Ten of Cups, this is a different Ten of Cups from this Ten of Cups. This is the fantasy world, this is the real deal. But to get it, you're going to have to be the Queen of Swords. Now, the Queen of Swords, and if you're unfamiliar, she represents the air, the air aspects. So it's logical, it's mental. The Queen of Swords represents Libra. I'm a Libra, so I get this card really well. Which is why I kind of have a love-hate relationship with her, because sometimes she shows off my lesser qualities. She can be very sharp with her tongue. She can speak her truth, but without any care for people's feelings. That in this card, in this placement, that's not a bad thing. I feel like what Spirit is saying here, and what I'm hearing the guides say, is that if you want to cut the fantasy and get to the real Ten of Cups, you're going to have to pull your truth out. The sword of truth. This queen has, obviously has a sword back here because she's the Queen of Swords. This is the sword of truth. Archangel Michael's sword of truth. You need to pull it out and start cutting out the things that aren't true in your life. The things that this is hard stuff, but you're ready for it. You're capable of it. Again, like I said, this isn't your first rodeo. You can do this. It's hard, it's painful, and it sucks. But get your sword out and start cutting at the things in your life that you've let slide, at the things in your life that are not truthful and are not their highest good. and you know it. You know it. And you've been letting it slide because, you know what, quite frankly, the last 2 years have been crap. We've had a really hard time emotionally, physically. We've been stretched and strained in every direction imaginable. But we're going into 2022, and 2022 is going to be, in many ways, the hardest part of the shift. We need to be ready for that. We need to get rid of all this. Yeah, crappy stuff has happened, but you know what? At the same time, a lot of good has happened. A lot of beauty has happened. You're strong and you're ready to do this. You're ready to walk forward into this. Look at those eyes on her. She is gorgeous. She sees the truth. She knows the truth. She speaks the truth, and she cuts out anything that's not true. Over here on your fantasy world, and no disrespect meant, we all have fantasy worlds, believe me. I have fantasy worlds that, like, I'm a writer, so, you know, my fantasy worlds go deep. But check yours. Check where you're at, particularly on your happily ever after. My concern, and what I just got pushed on, is to mention there are some of you, it's possible there are quite a few of you. What you're holding on to isn't your true love. What you're holding on to is what you want to be your true love. You can't, I wish I had the other card still out. I don't know where it went. I'm trying to look for it really quick. I should have left it out and I didn't. Oh, there she is. Yay. You can't set all this stuff on fire and walk into your truth. That relationship that you have, that you're holding on to, for many of you, it's not the real deal. That's the real deal. And somewhere deep inside, you know that. You know the truth of that. I had this happen to me. My twin flame is not my real deal. He's not my true love. He came into my life. He burnt me to ash. He helped me. Well, he didn't help me, but that caused me to rebuild and become a stronger version of myself. A version of myself that's more whole, that's more true, that's more authentic, that's strong and powerful. That's an amazing, wonderful thing. But I had to get burnt to ash first. I wouldn't want that back for anything in the world. I am grateful for it and I'm appreciative for it, but that's not. Set it on fire. Walk into your true love. Particularly, you know, this is a soulmate channel right now, and don't hang on to something that's less than. Let it go. Do the work and be ready, because I think new people are coming in. For some of you, it's actually just your person that's coming back in or coming around again in the new year or in the spring. But for some of you, it is somebody new entirely, and it's somebody better than you can ever imagine. So don't hold on to anything that's not everything. I'm not going to lecture you anymore on that. On top of that, though, you have the Emperor. And this Emperor, I'm telling you, every time I see this little guy, I love this little guy. This little walrus guy, I adore him. But I see him, and he's like, don't pay attention to the fact that I'm a walrus. Pay attention to the fact that I'm a crown. That I have a sparkly crown. Look up here at the sparkly crown. Don't look at who I really am or what I'm really doing, because I don't really want to do the stuff that makes me royal. I just want to wear the crown. No offense, little guy, because I do love you. You're adorable. But sometimes that's the energy I get off of him. He's so cute, though. But beside the point. But you know what? Actually, just one of my guides is like, oh, but that is the point. They're so cute. But they're not the real deal. They're not the real deal. They're the fantasy. And, you know, you're already downgrading here to a 9 of Cups. And we need to downgrade off of this one further to get to the 8 of Cups so that we can go in the right direction and then go back up. You're only having to downgrade to the 8. It's not like you're having to start all over again. But you need to cut your losses in places you need to cut your losses. You need to step back a couple of steps to the 8 of Cups so that you can make a directional shift into something that is more solid. You know your truth. You know the truth about this. Over here, you know, she's dancing with fire. She's dancing with fire, and on top of that, we've got the King of Wands and the Page of Cups. Page of Cups, that's emotions. This is action. This is emotions. You know what? When I first laid her down, she felt reckless, and all of a sudden she connected to this card over here. No, she's not reckless at all. She's dancing at the fire. She pulled together her emotions and did the action, did the work, set this stuff on fire, and she's dancing at the fire. She's celebrating. This is New Year's Eve. She's celebrating. She's celebrating going into the new year. Hard though it may be, and tears, I felt a lot of tears being shed, but those are purifying tears. It's going to be okay. Let go of stuff that you need to let go of before the New Year's. Or soon, if you're watching this at some other time, like, you know, it's February and you're catching this video, do it over the next few weeks. Because otherwise I feel like this card can go either way. Okay, this is the Five of Pentacles. It's not a card I particularly appreciate or enjoy. The Five of Pentacles and the Five of Wands both drive me crazy. Five of Pentacles is a person, you know, left out in the cold. With this particular deck, you know, it always reminds me of the little match girl, you know, out in the cold outside the church where she freezes to death while they're all inside the church celebrating. If you hang on to any shred of a fantasy, of denial, of self-delusion about your relationships or about your life, you know what it is. You can feel it. If you don't deal with this situation, you're going to freeze to death outside the church while everybody's inside celebrating. In this particular deck, this card, the key to the door is right there. If she would stop doing this and just look, I mean, it's that simple of a solution for her. And this is the theme of this reading. It is time to open our eyes to truth in our life. We need to open our eyes to the truth we already know and cut out the lies. Get that truth, that sort of truth out, and cut out all the lies. And once we can see, we just put the key in the lock and, you know, we're good to go. You know, on top of that, you've got a Page of Wands. So a lot of wands here, and wands are action, they're passion. It's fire energy. This whole message is about fire. It's about, you know, I asked them to tell me what we needed to burn up with fire, and they gave me all kinds of fire. We need to take action. We need to be passionate for ourselves. We need to be a passionate advocate for ourselves so that we can put all the stuff in that bowl on New Year's Eve, set it on fire, and walk into our happily ever after. Our true, real happily ever after. Not the one that, you know, we've been pining over or that's in our head. You know, for me, my soulmate situation, it's been going on for years. There's a level of safety in it for me because I like my life the way it is. I like being single. I'm happy in my relationships. And so the fact that he's in a third party, I'm like, good for you. You do you, I'm going to do me. You know, but that's delusional. That's, you know, self-denial. It's denial. It's self-delusion. This is a part of me. This is my heart connection. This is, my guides have literally called this man my great love. Why would I deny myself that? And I'm asking you all the same thing because that's my work. I know where my work is, but what is your work? What do you need to get rid of? What part of the fantasy do you need to axe out? Is it the person entirely? Because for some of you it is. It is let go of that. That is not the thing. That was here for a particular reason. It brought you growth. It brought you, maybe your gifts came online. It was probably very powerful, very intense, but it wasn't meant to go the long haul. It was meant to set you up to create the person who could have the true happily ever after. The true, you know, the Lover's card in the deck. And yeah, it's painful. And yes, I want to say frustrating. That word doesn't even begin to cover it. It's this drama, the pain, the passion, the intensity. Oh my God. Don't make it be worthless. Don't get stuck, you know, just outside the church. That's your wedding on the other side of that door. Get your ass in there. Get rid of this, whatever it is, whether it's the person that's not meant to be at the wedding with you, or it's just, you know, your the person that is supposed to be there, for me, that's a thing, your ideas about, you've been hurt, you don't want to be hurt anymore, you're good, single, and happy. I mean, there's a place for that. I get it. I've been single and happy for a lot of years right now. But the greatest magic and the greatest gift bestowed on us in this lifetime is true romantic love. And at any age, I don't care if you're young and, there's kids in this card, that's why I'm thinking about this. You're young and you want to start a family, or if you're 60 and you've had all of that, but you still haven't had that true happily ever after. These happily ever afters are coming, and they're not even coming. You have to understand that it's not even just coming because, like, okay, you've waited long enough for it, God's going to bless you. It's coming because these happily ever afters are built into this shift that we're in, this 2020 to 2024/2026 planetary shift that we're in, where the whole planet is elevating. The balance is coming back between light and dark so that the world is not quite so dark slanted. It's a whole thing with astrology. Maybe someday I will do a video just on that. But my point is that built into this shift, one of the ways the light comes back to this planet is with these relationships. And you came here to do that. You came here to help bring the light back, but you can't do it on your own. You have to do it with your true romantic partner. And in my experience, that's not always your twin flame. Your twin flame gets you ready for that true romantic partner. Be open to that. I understand that might be a painful thing to hear, but be open to it at least. Spend some time over the winter, over the next couple of weeks, meditating on that. And like I said at the beginning, take all of this stuff past your guides. You need to know for you what's right, what's true, what's real. I wanted to do a reading today that would help people move forward, to help them from being stuck, and what message the guides really wanted to bring out. That's why I did it the way I did, by reading off the bottom of the deck. And what the guides most wanted to tell you all is it's time to set the old on fire and walk into the new. And from this reading that came up, what needs to be cut off, I don't know where the I should have kept all those other cards out, but I was going to bring up the Seven of Swords, the sneaky, self-delusional, denial energy about your fantasy life, about what you think is true for you, for happily ever after. Start examining that deeper. What is actually true? What do you actually want? In the middle of the night, when it's just you and nobody else around, what is your truth? What does your happily ever after look like? Cut off everything else. Cut off all the rest of the stuff. And then you can dance in the fire on New Year's Eve. Well, I wouldn't suggest dancing in the fire, but maybe next to the fire. Of everything that you cut off and that you got rid of. So that when you come to the church on your wedding day, you have the right key that fits into the right lock. Because I'm telling you, I keep getting visions of 2022 and weddings. There are a lot of weddings, a lot of unions coming. I don't even want to call it reunion. I've said reunion a few times and I correct myself. There are unions coming in 2022, sacred soulmate unions. You want to be ready for that. You want to be able to put that key in that lock and go to your wedding. I hope this made some sense and that it spoke to you, to the people that it's meant to speak to. I support you and I send you so much love. I challenge you to take a good long look at whatever you've built up as your version of 10 of Cups and do some work on that, because I don't think it's quite set right. Whew. There's work to be done, but we've been through worse. Come on, you all know it. We've been through the ringer since 2012. My twin flame situation started in 2012. And we've seen it all. We've been through it. Back in 2012, when my guides told me to Google twin flame, like 3 articles came up. Nobody had even heard of the term hardly at that point in time. Back then I was one of the first people that started writing about it a lot. It used to be when you Googled twin flame separation, my articles came up. I was the top person that came up because I learned so much going through my twin flame, and I'm a writer. So, I do my feelings, I figure out my feelings by writing about them. And my blog was very, very popular for a very long time. And then I shut it all down because I realized twin flames weren't what we thought they were. And people weren't ready to hear that. I'm hoping at this stage, as we go into 2022, people are are ready to be more open about this and not worry about the labels even. Your person is your person, and you know. Make sure you're open to your real person and you're not locked into a person that you think is your person or that you want to be your person for whatever reasons. Again, I'm going to stop lecturing. I'm going to send you a lot of love for the day and for the weeks ahead. I pray that you're blessed. Please like, share, and subscribe on the channel. I really appreciate that because I have a lot of work to do, and it would be very helpful if the channel actually was seen by people. And I will see you all on the next video. Take care. Take a good look, truthful, honest look at where you're headed. I'll see you on the next video.